Today I'm going to show ya two versions of low E flat trumpets. The first is this is an Amati ATR263 low E flat trumpet. Now, I'm thinking of having a special trigger made for this horn and chopping this to about there and having a trigger made to go because this horn is a hybrid and it's made in such a way that from its low C on down is flat, so it needs to come in about that much to play in tune. That's just how they're made. It's made to play in tune in the same register as a B flat trumpet, but with the big horn sound. And this is the ATR 263 is now, I'm pretty sure, I haven't got an answer back, but I'm pretty sure it has been discontinued. So I bought two of them. I found them very useful. And one of them I gave to Mark Taylor, the jazz French horn player. And I don't know how much use he's got out of it. I'm assuming he mentions he plays trumpet, so I'm guessing that's the horn in question. Now, the other low E flat horn, and let me preface this by saying, as I said in one of my last videos, I get horns cheap that have been damaged by doofuses who do things like try to yank slides and mouthpieces. This one is a perfect example. This is an expensive horn. These things cost a couple of $1,000. And this is the Hoyer offering. Let's see if I can line that up there. And this is a different, very different beast. This horn is, you know those long fanfare horns you see, those natural trumpets that are about this long, they're in E flat. Well, this is the same instrument, but wrapped up and with valves. It's got a very, very small bell. I've measured this. It's about, it's over 4 inches. It's less than 5 inches. Ooh, crack, crack, crack. And what happened to this thing was the last owner pranged the heck out of it by trying to get the slides out. And he busted slides, and he yanked out the both ends of the tuning slide, and so I benefited because that horn is over $2,000. I got it for $50 simply because the last guy who had it wouldn't take it into a repair shop, thought he could do it himself. Yank, rip, oops. And he practically gave it to me for $50. So I'm going to take it. I'm either going to send it back. It's a Kuhnel und Hoyer, and I'm either going to get my guy in Saskatoon to repair it or send it into Kuhnel and Hoyer to get those parts absolutely replaced, because that horn, when the slides stick, they're stuck. It's one of those horrible nickel silver alloy horns. Really good horn, but they chose the wrong alloy. You have to grease them and oil them regularly, otherwise they stick beyond redemption. But anyway, these are two very different horns with very different purposes. My contra-alto classical horn is out on loan right now, but it's the same length, and it's your typical rotary classical horn with a garland and all that stuff. And that's got a different use again. That's for playing symphonic music from the 19th century up until about 1910. I got it from an old guy. I asked around, and when I was a kid playing the Delta Youth Orchestra, I asked around, does anybody have one of those old low F trumpets? Because the music we played in the DYO was very often hand me down music from the Vancouver Symphony. And in it was old parts in A, natural trumpet, and I had an A trumpet, so I got to play those parts. And I was looking around for an old F, and I asked around, does anybody? And somebody pointed to me to this old guy, and all of them were like, "What do you want one of those things for?" You know, you might find one in someone's attic or their basement or nailed to the wall somewhere, but nobody plays those things anymore. I didn't care. I wanted one, so I went to this old guy. He was happy to get rid of it. I gave him $100 for it. This is way back in the early '70s, and I'm sure I could have lowballed him from there. He was happy to get rid of it, but the Amati there is not for playing 19th century music. It's for playing B flat parts and getting the big trumpet sound. Kind of like it plays very differently from the contra-altos. It's as I say, it's a hybrid horn. Yeah, it's made to share the same range as the B flat trumpet. The E flat contra-alto does share the same range as the B flat trumpet, but it can go lower. And if you've played Bizet's Carmen on trumpet, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There are parts there, it's like, oh, there are notes missing. Oh, I got the wrong trumpet for the wrong job. And that's very common with 19th century music, unless the music has been transposed or, and so that's way back when why I wanted a low F trumpet. I want a proper instrument for playing the proper part properly. Now, the fanfare horn, it's simply a case of like what happened with the bugle family in the United States. The bugles were just G natural bugles at first, and like a mellophone bugle and with no valves, and a G bugle with no valves. And if you look at what Canstel had, what they did was they took those old horns and put valves on them, and their power bore bugles. And there's a set of Canstel bugles or Canstel fanfare trumpet thingies in Ottawa for playing for royalty and for special occasions. And they've got the E flat soprano, they got the B flat, they've got the what do you call it? They got the B flat tenor trumpet, which is not the same thing as the other low B flat trumpet. They're two different animals. The tenor trumpet in B flat is a small bore horn, and it actually plays like a contra-alto. I have to explain about contra-altos and how they play. They are there was the original great big B flat trumpet, and instead of chopping it in half in the early 19th century, there was a sort of a compromise, and they made it 6'6" E flat. so that it would retain the sound of a trumpet with that kind of rolling sound when you got lots of them in a big hall. And the E flat contra-alto was built to retain that sound. The tenor trumpet playing in B flat plays like the B flat, or doesn't play like the B flat bass trumpet. It plays like the contra-alto in that it shares the same range as the contra-alto, but has extra tubing. It plays like a dog below. It's from G on down, down to low G, low F sharp. It plays like a dog, but in the high range, it sounds like a trumpet. Um, where are we going with this? So the fanfare trumpet was like the G bugle. It started out as a natural instrument, and then the music got more complex, and they wanted more options, so they added valves to it, and that's what those fanfare trumpets with the valves are. So you got three distinctly different types of low E flat trumpets or F. You've got the hybrids, and there's lots of different hybrids out there. It's kind of like baritone shaped objects in the US. It's like there's who depends who made them and when, and they're all the kings and the khans and the whatever's. They were different bores, different tapers, different this, different that, but in the same general configuration. But anyway, you got the hybrid horns like the ATR 263. You've got the true contra-altos, which are for classical music, and you've got the fanfare horns with valves to retain that fanfare-ish type sound, but able to play every note on the chromatic scale. So that's all for today. Happy honking. Ta ta.